Well, hello students, welcome to this class with me, Mr. Alfie. And this is Mathematics Specialist class. In this video, we're still going to learn about volume, but in this particular video, we're going to talk about prism. Why should we talk about prism more? Because there are actually so many types of prism. Like this one, this is what we call triangular prism. We name a prism usually according to the shape of the base, like this one, triangular prism, because the base is actually a triangle. So, how can we classify a three-dimensional shape as a prism? There are two conditions that must be required. The first, the base and the top side are congruent, and the base and the top side must be parallel. The sides that are actually congruent and parallel, that's what we call cross section. Like this particular prism, this is the base and this is the top. They are parallel and also congruent. These sides that we call cross section. How about this three-dimensional shape? This is a cylinder. Why should we classify cylinder as a prism? Because actually there are two sides, which is the base and the top in this three-dimensional shape, are actually congruent and parallel. So we can classify a cylinder as a prism. Now I want you to look at these prisms. Okay, let's discuss about this first. Now we are going to identify which sides are actually the cross-section of this prism. Remember, the cross-section are actually the sides that have the same size or congruent and also parallel. As you can see, these two sides are actually the cross-section of this prism because they congruent or they have the same size and they're also parallel. How about this prism? As you can see, the sides that are actually the same size and also parallel are this side. So the cross section of this prism is this side. Now let's jump to the example. Find the volume of three-dimensional shape. As you can see here, this is a prism. And in order to find the volume of prism, you have to identify which side are actually the cross-section, and we have done two. The cross-section is this side and also this side. This is the cross-section, and I have put the numbers of the measurements here. So first we need to find the area of the cross-section. As you can see, the cross-section is actually a trapezium. So the area of a cross-section is 5 plus 9 from this side and this side, divided by 2 multiple with 20 from this side. So the area of cross section is 140 centimeter square. Now, as you have probably known that the volume of a prism equal to the area times height. At the previous video I told this is the area of the base, but in this particular shape, let's see this is the cross section. So the volume of a prism is the area of a cross-section times the height. So volume equal to 140 comes from the area of a cross-section multiple with 18. This is the height, 18. So the volume of the prism is actually 2520 centimeter cube. Next example. Find the volume of the three-dimensional shape if the area of a cross-section is 45 centimeter square. So, we have discussed about this prism that the cross-section is this side and also this side. Since they are the congruent or the same size, we just pick one of them. So, this is the shape of the cross-section. And from the question, we have known that the area is 45 centimeter square. And you know that the volume of a prism is the area of a cross-section times the height. So this is the height, 30 centimeter. This is easier than the previous example. So we just need to substitute these numbers to this formula. So the volume of the prism equal to 45 multiple of 30. So the volume of the prism is actually 1350 centimeter cube. How to solve this kind of equation? If the area of the base is 78 centimeter squares and the height is 12 centimeter, find the volume. The first thing that you need to sure about that the base and the top side are the congruent. Look, as you can see here, they are actually congruent. And the second thing that you need to make sure that the sides are parallel. And you have probably known that they are actually parallel. If you're sure about those two things, you can say that this is actually a prism. So this is easy equation. The first thing that you need to make sure in order to find the volume of the prism, you have to know the cross section, the area of a cross section. The area cross section in this prism is this area and this area. This is the base area. From the equation, we have known that the base area is 78 centimeter square and the height is 12 centimeter. So we only need to substitute those numbers to this formula. So the volume of this prism is actually 78 multiplied with 12 equal to 936 centimeter cube. So the last example. If the radius of the big circle is 21 centimeter, the radius of the small circle is 14 centimeter, and the height is 30 centimeter, find the volume. As you can see here, this is the three-dimensional that we're going to find the volume. So first, we need to identify the cross section. This side and this side are the cross section of this three-dimensional shape. If you look closely, this is the shape of the cross section. From the equation, we have known that the radius of the small circle is 14 centimeter and the radius of the big circle is 21 centimeter. Now, first, we're going to find the area of the cross section. The area of a cross section is the area of a big circle subtracted with the area of small circle. So we know that the area of a circle is pi r square. So the area of the big circle is the pi, 22/7, multiple with the r square. We know the r of 21 centimeter for the big circle. Subtracted with the area of a small circle. The same formula, pi r square. So the pi is 22/7 times r square. The radius is 14 centimeter. So by calculation, we can find that the area of the big circles is 1386 and the area of the small circle is 616. So the area of a cross section is actually 770 centimeters square. After we find the area of a cross section, we can find the volume of this three-dimensional shape. The volume is the area times the height. So we have found the value of the area of a cross section, which is 770, multiple with the height. The height is 30 centimeter. So the volume of the this three-dimensional shape is 23,100 centimeter cube.